All right, guys, it's the end of an era. America's most iconic family is saying goodbye as Keeping Up with the Kardashians coming to an end after 20 seasons on E! The reality show single-handedly catapulted the careers of the Kardashian crew when it first premiered back in 2007. Since then, we've gotten some pretty crazy moments, some hilarious quotes, some iconic fashion, and makeup techniques as well. Now, the series finale aired last night, but if you missed it, don't worry. The two-part special reunion hosted by Andy Cohen is airing on June the 17th and the 20th. So joining us now to talk all things Kardashians is Jackie Jordan, pop culture expert. Jackie, thanks so much for joining us. 15 years, by the way, a long time to be on air, regardless of what network you're on. How did the Kardashians, in your mind, really transform the genre here and also, more importantly, have the staying power to stay as big as they were?
Well, as a pop culture expert and purveyor of entertainment, what I can tell you about the Kardashians is it's definitely a legacy. Whether you love them or hate them, they have definitely left an imprint on a whole generation for a decade and a half, and that's a long time. Being that I'm a little bit older than you, I'm used to the whole soap opera genre. However, the Kardashians redefined what soap operas and primetime drama is by opening up the doors and exposing their vulnerability and their family secrets, and they're also fashion amongst families and a generation, and they have definitely left an imprint. One of the things about the Kardashians that this show really defined was the whole idea of influencer. So not only did they have a successful primetime cable television show, they were really the forerunners in the whole Instagram lifestyle influencer. And they were the first to really bring the business model as well of endorsements into the social media platform, which I definitely credit them for making that a pathway. In fact, at the time, we were only used to athletes and movie stars being that type of advertising endorser on social media, but the Kardashians broke it into reality television, which at the time was, something we hadn't seen. And now, they've got their name on so many different things that we can all consume and shop and buy online if we are.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment, because you're right with social media. I mean, the fact that they have millions of followers on all of their social platforms, the fact that Forbes now essentially saying both Kylie and Kim are essentially billionaires here. What's the secret sauce here? Why is it that Kylie's lip kit sells out in 2 seconds? Why is it that Kim Kardashian's Skims products sell out in seconds as well? What's the secret sauce here?
And not only that, it's not only just a secret sauce, it's a very coveted spot. As someone I work with, I work with experts in businesses in terms of branding, and to get an endorsement from a Kardashian, a Khloe, Kim Kardashian, any of the Jenner girls, it's the stamp of approval that, remember Oprah Winfrey used to do a show when she used to do the book club. So if Oprah held up a book that she did in her book club, that book was instantly going to be seller #1. And the Kardashians did that in this genre, which was reality television, cable reality television, but they also broke it really out into the social media. They were really the first to figure out the alchemy of monetizing social media as a celebrity endorsement spot and place. And they were never left us unentertained with their drama.
No, you're absolutely right, because if you think about it, like their weddings, their birth announcements, any sort of thing that was happening within the family, that would be on all the magazines. That would be in the top story on, E! News, all that other stuff. Why is it that we just became so engrossed with everything that was happening within the family culture?
Well, whether Americans liked it or not, we went through all of the marriages and the births of the Kardashians. We went through Kris Jenner and Bruce Jenner's, marital breakup. We went through his change, even though he wasn't always a central theme on the show. But it was obviously an impactful storyline. I hate to use the word storyline because this is, people's lives. But also, as we know, in unscripted television, it's loosely, scripted, and that always needs to be said. But we were fascinated. So whether we wanted to or not, we went along with the Kardashian journey and changes. And the season finale certainly represented that too, as you could see from a unscripted, scripted, perspective, they tried to tie up all the big loose ends of the family themes, mostly relational. And ironically, it was a show primarily focused around the relationships, complex, sometimes trite, sometimes they tried to be very perfectly imperfect in their very kind of perfect world, if you, if
And
you
by the
get
way,
what
we
I
should.
mean on
And by
that.
the way, we should note the show ending on E is not the end of the Kardashians by any stretch of the
Not at all.
imagination. They're taking their show to Hulu, but in many ways, they still have even more staying power. I mean, think Kim Kardashian is in the process of getting her law degree. She wants maybe potentially to become, work in politics down the road.
Yes.
You mentioned Caitlyn Jenner running for governor of California as well. So, how much longer do you think the staying power this family has? Like, how much more of our lives are they going to continue to take up?
Well, I think what's really interesting is we watch them incubate as a family and really grow up. I remember when Kylie they were so young when they were just young teenagers. Now they're their own billionaires as well. I think that they're going, they'll continue on. I think they've become their own individual empires, so they don't need to stay bonded together in a format of a show if they are now their own individual, branding empires, and then they're going to create what they want to do. I personally will be more interested in this chapter of their life going forward if they plan to take out some of their advocacies and make a difference where they are more focused on helping people who are suffering than just doing a show around their own suffering, which is kind of what we enjoyed being entertained by.
Right. I can't wait to see the reunion. I'm glad Andy Cohen is going to be doing it because it seems like he's asking some pretty poignant questions to them. Jacquie Jordan, a pop culture expert. Thank you so much, Jacquie, for joining us. And again, the first part of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians reunion airing June the 17th on E!